welcome to Monday morning yoga. I'm just going to wait a few moments, so as you're arriving, just getting yourself ready and set up here. So if you're just arriving, just getting yourself set up, I'm just going to wait a couple minutes until I begin with the practice. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm definitely feeling creaky today. So I'm just going to wait a minute or two to get started, but if you have arrived, just getting your mat, if you have yoga props, getting those ready. Today's practice, I'm going to give a bunch of options. We'll add some flow into it, but of course you can skip any part of the practice, and just really honoring your body and where you're at. I feel like right now, I mean always, every day feels different, but I definitely feel very different from one day to the next. So again, just trusting in your body, what it is that you need in each moment. And if something doesn't feel good at all, just making your way out and finding something that does, okay? I apologize to anyone who tried to come on yesterday morning and I wasn't here. It was just a scheduling error, and I had forgotten to update my schedule, and that was a bit of a bomb. Sorry about that. But I'm here today, and I'll be back here tomorrow morning as well. So I think we'll get started. You could start on your seat. You can start in child's pose. You could even lie down if you need to. If you feel like you're really tired though, maybe sitting up or child's pose is a bit of a better option, just to bring some energy, to start lifting yourself up today. We will start with our breath, so if you like, you could take a hand over your heart and a hand over your belly. Maybe both hands over your heart, both hands on your belly. And let's take a couple clearing breaths here in through our nose. And then exhale. And you may want to do that again or a couple times more. And then just whenever you're ready, finding a rhythm with your breath. If you can breathe in and out through your nose right now, you can do that. If you're a bit congested, breathing through your mouth might be easier. You don't want to struggle with your breath here. And see if you can lengthen your inhale just a little bit without forcing your breath too much. And your exhale can be just as long as your inhale, or maybe slightly longer. Bottom of your exhale, if it feels okay, Begin to bring your navel right towards your spine, empty right down to the bottom of your lungs. And then if it feels okay at the very top of your inhale, you could take a little bit of a pause and then exhale all the way down again, drawing your navel towards your spine. Just seeing if that works for you, and if not, just keep breathing as you were. I'm going to open the class with an Om. You're more than welcome to join. You're also more than welcome to listen as well. We'll start with a clearing breath here. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale. And then inhale for Om. Just whenever you're ready, releasing your hands down, opening up your eyes. If your eyes are closed, let's start in child's pose. If you started here, then you can stay in child's pose. If you are on your seat, let's take a wide knee child's pose. Let's start to open up through our hips a little bit here. If you'd like to make this a little bit more active, you can extend your arms forward, bring your forehead to the ground. If you rather, you can just rest your arms or maybe make a pillow for your head here with your hands. Connecting to the back of your body. And notice your breath moving up into your shoulder blades, maybe into the back of your rib cage. And as you exhale, relax your shoulders, the weight of your head. And we'll just take a couple more breaths here. Excuse me. Take a couple more breaths in child's pose. And joining us today. Now, just knowing that you can make your way to child's pose anytime, to pause, to reconnect to your breath, to perhaps find some grounding here. All right, so let's rise, let's come up. And you can choose to move a little bit through tabletop here first if you like, arching and rounding through your spine. If you're feeling a little bit more energetic this morning, then you could start by coming right into downward facing dog and walking it out here. So just depending on how you're feeling, and remembering again, child's pose is always a good option to pause and to just reconnect to your breath and find a little settling with your energy. So we're just going to take a few more breaths if you're in tabletop or in downward facing dog, and you can always switch it up as well. Now we are going to make our way into a forward fold, so either walking your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands. Let's fold in, or maybe grab opposite elbows, maybe let your arms hang, let your head release a bit more here. If you want to make a little bit of movement here, feel free to do that. You could sway or rock it out a little bit, move from side to side, or you can just stay here and pause. When you're ready, begin to ragdoll yourself to stand, or you can just take one breath to rise. Just coming all the way up to mountain pose, taking your shoulders back and down, maybe rolling them back a couple times here. And if you're at the back of your mat, make your way a little bit more forward to the front of your mat. Take a pause, feel both feet rooting. Take an inhale, lengthen up. Exhale, relax your shoulder blades onto your back. Now we're going to take an inhale, lift our arms up overhead, and then exhale, we're going to come right back into our forward fold. So we're going to do some half Sun Salutations here. Hands to your shins or blocks. Let's lift up halfway, arms are straight, shoulders back. Exhale, fold back in. And then hands to your hips this time. Push through your feet. Let's inhale, let's rise, let's come up, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to do that again. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold back in. And then let's rise. Inhale, come all the way up. And hands to heart center. So we're going to do that one more time. Inhale. And fold as you exhale. And find your halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold. And then rise to stand. Inhale. And hands to heart center. And just take a moment here again in mountain. Take a moment to pause. Feel your feet rooted. All right. Let's add in a bit more movement. Inhale. Reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Find length through your spine. Take an inhale. Now let's step our left foot back. We're going to take a low lunge here. Back knee comes down. You can place a cushion, block, or maybe a rolled up blanket underneath your back knee. Place your hands up on your hips. You can stay here. Or you can reach your arms up overhead. Now we're going to pause for a couple breaths. So if you need to bring your hands down at any point and come back out, you can go ahead and do that. Lots of variations for your arms. Connecting into your breath here. Take one more breath. Take one more inhale, and then on your exhale, let's bring our hands down and let's step back to downward facing dog. Take a clearing breath maybe here, in through your nose, out through your mouth. And let's come forward to plank pose. Shoulders over top of your wrists. And you can have your knees up, or you can bring your knees down to the ground. When you're ready, let's bend our elbows. Let's lower down. Okay. Cobra pose, low cobra, a little bit more core strength. Using your hands to lift up, perhaps elbows stay in and bend, shoulders down. And just whenever you're ready, coming back to child's pose or downward facing dog. Hey, buddy. Hey. Hey. Psst, psst, psst. What are you doing? That was a quick little cameo you made there, pal. All right, so when we come back to down dog, or if you're in child's pose, we're gonna step our left foot forward, or you can give it some help here. Give it a little hoist forward. Right knee comes down. We're gonna bring our hands up to our hips. From here, you can have hands at heart center, hands on your hips, arms up overhead. Couple deep breaths here. One more breath. So this time, we're going to bring our hands forward and we're going to step forward. You can take a step or two, come into a halfway lift, and then exhale, fold. And then inhale, let's rise to stand, mountain pose on your exhale. Good. All right, take a breath in. Reach your arms up, exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale to lift up halfway again. This time, let's step our right foot back. Long stride, back knee comes down. We're going to take a little bit of a revolve lunge, so either turning towards your left leg, hand on your hip, reaching up your hand, or you can take this into a high lunge if you'd like. Wherever it is you are, connecting into your breath. Two more breaths. And on your exhale, let's bring our hands down and let's step back to downward dog. Hey, you've come back. Hey, you can't lay down there because I'm going to do vinyasa, so you need to move. Thank you. Come forward to plank pose, inhale, exhale. Come all the way down, knees up or knees down. Inhale, cobra. Really. And coming back to child's pose or downward dog. Hi. You coming for a big visit today, hey? You like it when I'm in down dog, don't you? Yeah. Hi. All right, we're gonna lift our right leg up or step right foot forward from tabletop. So you're either coming into high or low lunge, turning towards your right leg, hand on your hip, or reaching your hand up. So lots of options here. Choose the one that serves you the best. Just a couple more breaths. When you're ready, hands come down. We're going to step forward a step or two, coming back to the front of your mat and forward fold. Let's inhale, rise, come up, and hands to heart center. Just take a moment in mountain pose, pausing here. You want to go back outside? Come on. Come here. Cats, I tell ya. Hey. All right. So we're going to work back into chair pose today. So hands at heart center, hands on your hips. Tailbone draws down slightly, lower belly pulls in. Sitting back and down into your chair. Tailbone draws down again. Shoulders lift up. So you can keep your hands on your hips or heart, or you can reach your arms forward or up. And take a couple more deep breaths here. Take one more inhale, and then on your exhale, we're going to forward fold. Take an inhale to lift up halfway here. Exhale, fold. We're going to sit back to warrior one with our left foot. Left foot steps back. Excuse me. Come to rise. So back heels planted, hips facing forward, bend into your front knee. Now I can feel like I have a bit too long of a stride, so I'm going to shorten it up a bit here. So I can feel my back heel rooted. Upper body lifts upright. Hands on your hips, hands at your heart. If you would like to open up a bit more across your chest today, come to goddess arms. And then come back to your breathing. Couple more breaths. Now as you're ready, we're going to straighten out our front leg, both legs straight. You can always take a shorter stride here, hinging forward and down. I am going to use my blocks today. You don't have to have yoga blocks, but it does bring the, excuse me, the floor a little bit closer. You can fold in here, and you can stay lifted, and working your hips so that they're both sides pointing forward. Couple more breaths. Now let's walk our arms, hands forward. If you have the blocks, you can bring them with you. Lift your back leg up and maybe open it up a little bit to the side, your hips, or you can turn your toes down and lift your inner thigh and fold in. We'll just take a couple breaths here. Now we're going to lift up halfway. You're going to bend into your standing leg. Step your back foot all the way back. Let's step back to three-legged dog, lifting your right leg up behind you. You could open up your hip here as well. Bend your top knee, connecting to your breath here. Now let's step our right foot forward again. This time for warrior two. Back heel comes down. Rise and come up to stand. So you can have your hands on your hips. Check that your front knee's over your ankle. Back leg is rooted. And your arms can also extend out. Coming back to your breath here. Couple more breaths. Now let's windmill our hands down. Either side of our front foot, we're going to step back to plank pose. You can choose to move through vinyasa here. You can stay and come back to down dog, or you can come back to child's pose. Taking a couple breaths wherever it is you are. And then let's step forward to the front of our mats, taking a forward fold, and then rise to stand. Hands to heart center. And just taking a moment again to pause. All right, chair pose, second time. Hands at your heart or hands on your hips. Sitting back and down, tailbone draws down. Maybe reaching your arms up. Take one more breath in here. Exhale, forward fold. Take an inhale to lift up halfway. Step your right foot back this time. Warrior one again. So pointing your hips forward. Back toes are pointing towards the front corner of your mat. Take a shorter stride if you can't bend into your front knee, and keep your back heel planted. And then from here, lots of arm variations, connecting into your breath. When you're ready, straighten out your front leg, hips facing forward. Take a breath in here, hinging forward and down. I'm going to use my blocks again here, but you can also bring your hands to the floor. If you're really tight, bend your knee deeper and bring your hands just above your knee here. You can fold in as well, connecting into your breath. Ooh, my breath is really labored today. I feel I've had some allergies the last couple of days being outside, and I can really feel it. When you're ready, we're going to lift up halfway, walk your hands forward, lift your back leg up. Again, if you open it up to the side, you can do that, or point your toes down, folding in here. And begin to lift up halfway. Step your back foot all the way back. Bring your hands down. Let's step back to three-legged dog, lifting your left leg up. You can bend your knee, open up your hip a little bit here. Connect to your breath. And then let's step our left foot forward. And we're going to rise to warrior two. I'm just going to turn around here. And so bending into your front knee. Back leg is rooted, arms extended. Connecting back to your breath. When you're ready, we're going to windmill our hands down, either side of your front foot, step back to plank pose, and again, you can move through vinyasa, come to down dog, stay in, or come to child's pose. Couple deep breaths. Now we're going to step our right foot forward again. We're actually going to come back to warrior two on the right side this time again. And Connect into your breath. Now, backhand to your hip. Front arm reaches forward, elbow light on your front leg. You can place it on the inside of your knee. There's a resistance there. For those of you that have blocks, you can use your hand on a block. Turn your heart open. Either extend your left arm up, keep it on your hip, or reach forward. Again, connect into your breath. Now let's rise, let's come up. Take a pause here, take a breath in. Reach your arms up. Triangle pose, either with your front hand down, back arm up. You could also float your arms as long as you have the core strength to hold yourself there. Connect into your breath. Now we're going to lift up one more time. Hey, we're going to turn our feet to the long edge of our mats. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So taking a breath in here, exhale, forward fold. So a couple options. Hands can be on the floor. You can interlace your hands behind you, root your knuckles up towards the ceiling. Or you can grab a hold of your shins or your ankles, whatever works for you here. So when you're ready, let's lift up halfway. Let's walk around towards our right foot. You can move through vinyasa. You could come to downward dog. You could also come to child's pose. So take a few breaths. And wherever it is that you are, we're going to step our left foot forward. We're going to come to warrior two. So coming to stand up. See that ninja move of mine? Come here, buddy. Hey. Big yoga cat today, hey buddy? All right. So extended side angle. You can bring your front elbow to your leg lightly. Shoulders come back. You can be on the inside of your knee with a bit of resistance. You can have your hand on a block, depending on how that feels. Shoulders back. It might be different on this side. You could extend your arm up, reach forward, or keep your hand on your hip. Come back to your breath. And when you're ready, let's rise. Let's come up. Arms reach out, straighten out your front leg, and let's move to triangle pose. Remember, you can have your front hand down on a block or on your shin, or you could float your arms, connecting to your breath. Now, as you're ready, let's pull ourselves back to stand. Let's turn to the long edge of our mat. Wide-legged forward fold here again. So option, again, to take the bind, release, lifting your arms up. If that creates tension in your shoulders, bring your hands to the floor or to blocks or to your ankles. Couple more breaths here. So as you're ready, begin to lift up And then we're gonna walk ourselves all the way around again. You can move through vinyasa, come to child's pose, come to down dog, and connect into your breath. Let's all take a few breaths in child's pose if you're not there already. Take a moment to pause. And then let's come back either through downward dog or right into your forward fold here. I'm just going to ragdoll the stand, but you can take one breath as well. Come all the way up to mountain pose. Okay, so I'm going to move into one of my least favorite poses here. Hold on a second here. Okay, I'm going to move into dancer pose, and the only reason I don't like it is because it's super tight here and I find it really challenging, but it's obviously very good and I need it. So we're going to try dancer pose. Now, when we come into balances, like, feel free to hold on to whatever's close to a wall. My couch happens to be here. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So start by standing on your right foot. You can reach back and grab your left foot and then bring your knee back down towards the floor and begin to take your tailbone down, lower belly draws in, hip draws forward, shoulders back, okay? So some of you may stay here and this will be, you can feel a good stretch already. You could also take your right arm overhead. So I'll actually turn to face you here, here, or here. Okay, now for those of you, without winging your knee out to the side, that have some space, you can kick your foot into your hand, hand into your foot, and then open up. So lift your chest, reach your right arm back. Couple more breaths here. And just as you're ready, we're going to come back. Take a moment, mountain pose. And then let's try dancer on the other side, standing on your left foot. Reach back, grab your right foot, shoulders back. If you have a yoga strap, you can't grab your foot. You can always use a strap here as well. And then from here, you can reach your left arm up. You could kick your foot into your hand, hand into your foot, shoulders back. And just as you're ready, coming back to the center, taking a pause, mountain pose. Okay, we're going to work on one more balance here. Tree pose today. So I want to give a few options. So you can lightly rest your heel on your ankle with your toe still on the ground. You can always come back down to this place and try to feel from your hips down, pressing down towards the ground, and then from your waist up, lengthening up. So you're really rooting down through your standing leg. You can bring your foot just below your knee on the inside of your lower leg. You can grab your ankle, bring your foot on the inside of your upper leg above your knee, and then you're trying to lengthen up. Hips are staying forward, so try not to turn to the side just to get your knee more open. Hands can be at your heart. You can become a cactus, arms up overhead, or arms by your side. So continue to work with your breath, continue to feel the connection of your standing leg rooting down while the rest of your body lengthens up. A couple more breaths. Tree pose. Just whenever you're ready, making your way out, coming back to mountain pose. So remembering that you could always use a wall for support, or you can always bring your toes back down to the ground and then make your way back in. So we're going to come to the other side here. Foot on the inside of your lower leg, or grabbing your ankle above your knee. So try not to press into your knee joint. Your knee joint is a hinge. It doesn't like to be pushed out to the side. Wherever it is that you are, connecting to your breath. You can have your arms in whatever way makes sense for you. Just a couple more breaths here. As you're ready, I'm going to release. Take a moment, shake it out, or come to mountain. Good. Okay. So, if you've moved, bring yourself back to the front of your mat. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Excuse me. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then let's step our left foot back for warrior one. So we're going to just take a short transition, warrior one to warrior three. So working a little bit on balance here, as you can tell. So as we move into warrior three, you want to start to move forward, and as you move forward, your back leg lifts up. Okay, so moving forward, lift your back leg, and move from your inner thigh. And then maybe tip forward a bit here. If you need to come out, you come back to mountain. Any arm variation. The further away your hands come from the center, the more of a core stability you need. When you're ready, you're coming to mountain. Take a breath or two here. Alright, take an inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. And lift up halfway, inhale. Step your right foot back for warrior one. So hips are facing forward. A little bit of a shorter stride for most people than warrior two. And then we're going to move right into warrior three. So we're leaning forward, lifting our back leg, and hinging forward here. Any arm variation that you like. And just as you're ready, coming back to mountain, taking a couple clearing breaths. Good, very nice. All right, let's take an inhale, reach your arms up, and then exhale, forward fold. Let's lift up halfway, inhale, and then let's step back to downward dog. So we're going to come into pigeon pose today. So pick one leg. For those of you that know that pigeon is not great for your knee, you're going to come to figure four on your back. For those of you taking pigeon, you start with your knee wider than your hip. So my left knee is forward, I'm going to keep it out to the left. And you can stay here. You could fold in. If you feel any tension, any pressure in your knee, come to this pose instead. Okay, same action, working the same muscles to get a bit of space in our hips, but just less weight bearing on your hip. All right. So we're going to settle in for a few breaths. connecting into your breath. Just going to take a few more breaths here, but if you need to come out sooner, please make your way out sooner if that's what you need. So just in your own time, when you're ready to come out, you can find a release that works for you. If you did come into Pigeon pose, if anyone wants to take a vinyasa in between, you can, or you can just come to the other side. Come to Child's pose. If you're on your back, you could windshield wiper or find any other kind of release for yourself here. All right, so this side might feel different, so just trusting in your body that you may choose a different variation. You may come onto your back for figure four if it feels like too much of a load on your knee here. And then connect into your breath. Just going to take a few more breaths here. And again, just in your own time, coming on out, finding a release, maybe child's pose, maybe vinyasa, maybe down dog. Just a couple more breaths, wherever it is that you are. So coming onto your seat when you're ready. So I'm going to give a couple options for this this next pose, and we'll see if we'll see how it goes. I haven't even done this one in a while. Big hip opener. So we're going to start with I'm going to start with my left foot over my right. I think it's the opposite, looks the opposite to you guys, but we'll see here. I can't tell on the camera. And then you're going to wiggle your foot over so that your top knee is bent and it's stacked. Now some of you might be like up here. So then maybe bring your foot like you're coming into figure four instead. Okay. Now if your foot is over and you can start to lengthen up here, you can stay here, or you're going to lean to the side and everyone's like, what? Bend the other leg. Knees are stacked. It's like a shoelace, or yeah, both feet are out to the side. I guess you could probably see that. Now, if your knees are way up into your face, you could come back here and maybe come here instead, or just do the half version. So one leg over top of the other. You could even start to lean in here. You will feel it a bit more through the back of your bottom leg. If you feel any pressure in your knees, just make your way out. This is called Gomukhasana. It's actually called, translates into cow face pose. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows the history on that one. I know there's a an arm variation on this. I'm not going to do it today, but it's when you kind of clasp your hands behind and lengthen up. Right now with my shoulders, I feel like I would need a strap for that. A couple poses to really work on here. If you are here and you want to fold in without lifting your sit bones, if your one sit bone's really lifted, you're just going to work to rooting that side down. Take a few more breaths. Now, to come out, I'm just going to lean back. I'm going to unravel, shake out my feet, or you could windshield wiper a few times side to side. And then we're going to come to the other side, and one side might feel different. So remembering you can pause here, top leg bent, maybe lean in, or bend the bottom leg. And eventually your knees will be stacked. Mine are not quite. And then I'm just going to root down through my sit bones, find a little length through my spine, come back to my breath. A couple more breaths here. Okay, so when you're ready, again, we're going to release and find a release that works for you. Let it go a little bit here. I'm going to come into bound angle posture next. If you have a cushion block or a rolled up blanket, you could use that to sit up on for a bit more height, and then draw your hips forward, feet together, knees wide, so your feet can be wider than your pelvis, or they can come in closer. Some of you may hang out here, some of you may fold into this pose a bit more. Taking a few more breaths. As you're ready, we're going to lift up, extend your legs forward, and we're going to recline back onto our backs and find a few poses before we come into Shavasana today. So we're going to start in bridge pose, feet down on the ground, knees bent. You could walk your feet back. You could draw your shoulder blades underneath you here. And a couple options. You could place a yoga block underneath you and settle your hips on for a restorative version, or you're going to press down, lift your hips up. And you can stay here, pressing down through your arms, or you can interlace your hands underneath you and lift your hips up by pressing down into the ground. Try to keep your chin just slightly away from your chest, so your neck stays neutral, and come back to your breathing here. And then just as you're ready, we're going to release that, come all the way down. You can bring your knees up into your chest if you like, maybe rock a little bit here. And we are going to come back up into bridge pose one more time. Some of you may know alternate versions of this pose, so I encourage you to either take a different variation if you need to. So whenever you're ready, shoulder blades underneath you, lifting up through your hips, and maybe interlacing your hands underneath you. Connecting to your breath. And as you're ready, we're going to lower down again. And perhaps relax knees to chest. Or you can have your feet down on the ground and windshield wiper your knees a few times from side to side. Okay, so let's find a reclined twist. Today I'm going to cross my left leg, upper leg over my right upper leg, and I'm going to bring my knees over to the right. But that's a bit of a deeper twist than a two-knee twist, so if you prefer, just unravel your legs here. Coming back to your breath. As you're ready, we're going to unravel and we're going to come to the other side. So I'm moving my hips to the opposite side of my knees just to line everything up a bit more, but find what works. You just want to try to have your bottom leg on the ground if possible. And then connecting to your breath here again. Try to let go and soften a little bit of anything that feels like it's tense or it's holding. And just as you're ready, we're going to come back to the center. So you can make some movement, knees to chest. You could come to happy baby pose if you like as well. And just as you're ready, release. If there's anything that you need before Shavasana, and that could be one more movement, it could be just grabbing a sweater or a blanket to put on. Just giving yourself a moment to get set up. If you're coming into one more posture, maybe give yourself about 5 or 6 breaths, and then make your way onto your back. And if your back's not comfortable to lay on for Shavasana, find a place that is comfortable for you. Could be on your side, could be on your seat. For those of you that are ready for Shavasana now, you could get settled, give yourself a couple clearing breaths. Just give yourself this gift of this time to just be, to surrender, to let go a little bit more. begin to deepen your breath. Make some gentle movement with your body, your ankles, your wrists, maybe give yourself a full body stretch or bring your knees up into your chest. And take a moment on your side. Take a couple deep breaths. Just taking your time as you're ready to make your way up to your seat. And just as you're coming to your seat, maybe again bring your hands over your heart. Take a couple deep breaths of gratitude and maybe bow your mind to your heart with reverence and gratitude for being here, for taking time for you, for taking time to nurture and settle your nervous system in some way. Just really come back to your body. Come back to the present moment. I'm going to seal the class with an Om, and I'll start again with a clearing breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. And inhale. Thanks everyone. Namaste. Thanks everyone who was here this morning. I will be back tomorrow morning and we'll practice again together hopefully. I made a couple changes to the schedule, so I'll be here Thursday night as well, and then I have only a few spots left for Friday. Friday is going to be a registered 4-week series, and it's really focusing on yoga for anxiety and stress and some trauma-informed yoga practices. So if you're interested in that, send me a private message and I'll send you some more details. Okay, take care everyone. Bye.